Good morning, friends. Welcome back to today's session, session 5. So far, we have discussed about one chapter with various concepts. The chapter demand we have discussed, and we have studied the types of demand, determinants of demand, demand function, and changes in demand. In this class, we will discuss about another chapter, that is elasticity of demand. We have written chapter elasticity of demand. In the previous chapter, we discussed and studied the law of demand tells us only about the direction of change in demand for a commodity in response to the change in its price. That means we have studied that the quantity demanded of a commodity can be increased when there is a fall in the price of that commodity, whereas quantity demanded of a commodity diminishes when there is an increase in price of that commodity. This is what we studied, and that is what law of demand. In the chapter elasticity of demand, that it does not, means the law of demand does not tell us what amount of commodity demanded by a consumer in response to change in its price. The elasticity of demand, the chapter describes about the changes in demand. And we have also studied in the case of inexpensive goods like salt, the quantity demanded of salt can vary in relation to the changes in price, but we have seen that does not matter. The quantity demanded of that particular commodity will increase with the diminishing price if it is in a cases of salt. Up to a particular level, the consumer can demand. Thereafter, he or she never ready to purchase that commodity in a bulk amount. Here, first of all, let us study what is meant by elasticity of demand. The term elasticity of demand, the concept of this term has given by the famous economist like Alfred Marshall. He has given the concept to make us clear about the elasticity, the behavior of demand when there is a changes in its determinants. So we can study there, elasticity of demand refers to the degree of responsiveness of quantity demanded of a commodity to a change in its determinants. To a change in its determinants, any of its determinants can change. Due to that changes, then quantity demanded of a commodity changes. This is what is known as elasticity of demand. So elasticity of demand, in order to understand this elasticity of demand and its types, we have to study the definition very clearly, one which describes the quantity demanded varies. How? Due to the changes in its any of its determinants. Determinants we have studied already. The determinants of demand, we can say price of the commodity, income of the consumer, taste and preference of the consumer, size of population. So far we have studied so many. So any of such determinants changes causes to change in quantity demanded. Here in the definition we have seen that the degree of responsiveness. The term degree, here we mean that the rate of change. What rate the quantity demanded when there is a changes in a price. Law of demand never explain us what rate, what level of quantity change in relation with its change in price. But elasticity of demand shows the degree of responsiveness, the rate of change of that quantity of commodity demanded in relation with the changes in its determinants. So this is elasticity of demand. So there are three main types of elasticity of demand. I have already mentioned. So you can see that there are three main elasticities of demand. The first one is that price elasticity of demand. Price elasticity of demand. Second one is that cross elasticity of demand. And the third one is income elasticity of demand. These are the three main types of elasticity of demand. We will study separately. And in order to study these various kinds of elasticity study, we need to study, give more attention towards each one of those. So the first one we can see that price elasticity of demand. So the first classification, okay, the first types, okay, of elasticity of demand is price elasticity of demand. Price elasticity can be classified into 5 groups. 5 groups. What is meant by price elasticity of demand? So we can just lightly define price elasticity of demand refers to the ratio of percentage change in quantity demanded of a commodity to a given percentage change in its price. So we can say that percentage change in quantity of a commodity due to a percentage change in its price. If the price of a commodity diminishes or if the price of the commodity increases, either falls or increases, what percentage the price increases or decreases? We will study deeply. If the price, suppose the initial price of a commodity is 100 rupees, then the price increases by 10%, 110. Then what level of quantity of commodity demanded, what percentage level the quantity demanded, that is known, whether it is in 10% or it is less than 10% or it is greater than 10% or it is equal to 10%. These changes in quantity demanded, the changes in percentage changes in price, we known as price elasticity of demand. So symbolically we can write that percentage change in quantity demanded. In order to find out the price elasticity of demand, we can make a formula there. We will also see some of the numericals to calculate the price elasticity of demand. Percentage change in quantity demanded upon percentage change in price. This is what is price elasticity of demand. Percentage change in quantity demanded. What is the percentage? How much percentage the quantity demanded changes? Whether that changes is equals to the percentage change in price or else greater than, less than of the percentage in price. That we will describe through the classifications of price elasticity. So we can see that there are 5 types of degree of price elasticity of demand. 5 types of price elasticity, 5 classifications of the price elasticity. These price elasticities are perfectly inelastic, perfectly elastic demand, inelastic demand, elastic demand, unitary elastic demand. There are 5, which means these 5 types of price elasticity of demand gives 5 different numerical value too. That means the value which can lies, 5 types of value we will see that can lies, okay, the range between 0 to infinite. 0 to infinite, the range we can write 0 to infinite. 0 to infinite means what is? We can write that 0 less than or equals to elasticity of demand. Elasticity of demand is less than or equals to infinite. So the ranges between 0 to infinite. This is the range. The price elasticity of a particular commodity can be classified or different degrees. In different degrees, those degrees, the ranges, the values that can lies between 0 to infinite. That means these 5. So in that cases, if we write the values will be, it can be 0 or it can be less than 1 or it can be greater than 1 and or else it will be infinite. So there are 5 types of, okay, equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 5 types of. The numerical value of price elasticity of demand ranges from 0 to infinite. Keep in mind, the numerical value of price elasticity ranges, okay, lies from 0 to infinite, 5 types. That means equals to 0, less than 1, greater than 1, infinite 1. Now we will study separately with the help of diagram and demand. So the first one we can see the classification, the 5 different kinds of price elasticity of demand. 5 different kinds of price elasticity of demand. First one is that perfectly inelastic demand. Perfectly inelastic demand. This is the first one. What is meant by perfectly inelastic demand? What is meant by perfectly inelastic demand? Perfectly inelastic demand in a simple way we can define. But the quantity demand does not change at all in response to a given change in price. The quantity demanded of a commodity does not change at all in response to a given changes in price. Whether the price increases or decreases, the quantity demanded of that commodity will never change. It will remain same. It will remain same. In that cases, we can say the value, the elasticity of demand is equals to 0. The value, the numerical expression of price elasticity is value. So symbolically, we can write elasticity of demand is equals to 0. What does it mean? Price elasticity of demand. To mention price elasticity of demand, we can write EP. This, how could we read this? Price elasticity of demand. So price elasticity of demand is equals to 0 in the case. In which cases? Perfectly inelastic demand. Perfectly inelastic demand means if the quantity demanded of a commodity does not change at all, no change at all in response to a given change in price. That is known as perfectly inelastic demand. In that cases, if we make a schedule and a diagram, we can make like this. If we make a schedule of, a demand schedule, we know already how to make a demand schedule. We will make a demand schedule that price and quantity demanded. Price and quantity demanded. So in that cases we have different prices. Okay. 1, 2, 3 are the prices and quantity demanded. We take 2, 2, 2. What does it mean? Price varies. Okay, 1, 2, 3 are the different prices. With these different prices, quantity demanded of that particular commodity never changes, remains same. At rupees price at rupees 1, 2 quantities of commodity, whereas 2, 3 the same quantity remains same, and therefore it is 0. The numerical value is 0. So if this schedule, if we make a graphical representation, we can make a diagram here in how it will be. What is the shape? The diagram can be parallel to the perfectly inelastic demand curve is parallel to y-axis or vertical to the y-axis. So this is demand curve. So these are the various prices. Okay, what are the prices? 1, 2, 3 are the prices. 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3 are the prices, and quantity demanded is remain same. Look at this diagram. So we have a small diagram. The price elasticity, perfectly inelastic demand curve is parallel to y-axis, and that shows no change at all. Okay, whatever the price, 1, 2, 3, price increase or decrease, the quantity demanded never changes. This is known as perfectly inelastic demand. Clear? Then we move to the next price elasticity of demand, that is perfectly elastic demand. What is meant by perfectly elastic demand? Perfectly elastic demand is this, when a small change in its price. When a small change in its price results an infinite change in its quantity. It is purely, we can say, it is purely an imaginary concept. So, okay, in the rare case, rare phenomenon, it works in the economy. So we do not take much attention to this, because as it is considered as a rare phenomenon in the economy, that a slight changes in price may cause to infinite change in quantity demanded of a commodity. So kinds of elasticity of demand, price elasticity, that is perfectly elastic demand. Second. So in that cases, the value will be, the elasticity, the price elasticity value will be equals to infinite. It is infinite value, because we have already studied the numerical expressions of price elasticity of demand ranges between 0 to infinite. So 0 and infinite. Infinite, what is a perfectly elastic demand? What does it mean? There is, when a small change in its price leads to an infinite change in quantity demand. In that cases, we can say that is infinite. So in such a way, if we make the graphical representation of that, we can say perfectly elastic demand curve is parallel to x-axis. Is parallel to x-axis. Is parallel to x-axis. So this is demand curve. So in that cases, these are the various quantity demanded. Okay, quantity we can Q and Q1. Okay, this is what prices. Okay, a light difference in prices. Okay, light changes in prices can cause infinite changes in the quantity demanded, which is known as perfectly elastic demand. Is that clear? So what is the value of, in that cases, elasticity of price elasticity of demand is equal to infinite. What's the value in this here? Is equal to 0. So 2 values. Now we have 3 other types. The third type is that inelastic demand. What is inelastic? Inelastic demand is percentage change in. If the percentage change in quantity demanded is less than percentage change in price. Price elasticity of demand, we have studied percentage change in quantity demanded upon percentage change in price. Inelastic demand, if the percentage change in quantity demanded is less than the percentage change in price. Suppose the price of one commodity, okay, price of one commodity 10% from the initial stage of prices. If the price either decrease or increase in a particular percentage rate, suppose 10% the price changes leads to less than changes in commodity demand. That means it must be less than 10%. That means 8% or 7% of quantity demanded. If the percentage change in quantity demanded is less than percentage change in price, then we can say it is inelastic demand. Inelastic demand is negatively sloping demand curve. The value is less than 1. So we can write elasticity, price elasticity of demand is equal to what? Less than 1. The value is less than 1. And if we make inelastic demand, it shows the diagrammatic representation. We can show that we will make a particular diagram again, OX and OY axis. OY axis is prices, and we will make different prices, that the initial price 5 rupees and 7.5 and 2.5. 3 prices I have noted. What does this mean? From the initial prices 5, if the price increase or decrease, by 10 percentage, 7.5 and 2.5. Then what will happen? The quantity demanded of a commodity must decreases less than the changes in price. That means less than 10 percentage, maybe 8 percentage quantity can change. So in that cases we can make that a diagram, demand curve. Look at this. This differences in price. 10 percentage decrease in prices leads to changes, okay, less than that percentage change in quantity. Price, okay, price 10 percentage changes, either decreases, leads to quantity demanded of a commodity increases. Price falls 10 percentage, quantity demanded increases at 8 percentage. Less than that present changes. So that is what I said. If the changes in quantity demanded of a commodity, changes in percentage quantity demanded of a commodity is less than percentage change in price. So this gap also shows the differences in changes. So this gap is much more than this gap. That shows quantity demand of a commodity is less than percentage change in price. So therefore the value is less than 1. Clear? Then another types of price elasticity we will study, elasticity of demand. What is elasticity of demand? Elasticity of demand, it is said that when the percentage change in, just opposite of this, when the percentage change in quantity of a commodity is greater than percentage change in price, just opposite. So we can make that diagram here. Look at this diagram, just differences you can make. What is happening here? OP is the initial prices. If percentage change in price is, okay, OP1, then quantity demanded of a commodity will be OQ1. That is the difference. What is the difference from OQ to OQ1? Is much bigger than OP to OP1. The difference between quantity demand of a commodity from OQ to OQ1 is much bigger or much changes than OP to OP1. So just opposite of inelastic demand is elastic demand. So how could we draw inelastic demand and elastic demand in two ways? One way we can draw, if you want to make the inelastic demand, make the demand curve is more vertical in nature, so that the difference you can note there. If it is drawn much wider in sense, then you will find this quantity demanded is greater than percentage change in price. So the value is elasticity of price elasticity is greater than 1. So these are the values. So we have discussed for perfectly inelastic demand, the value is 0. Perfectly elastic demand, price elasticity of demand is infinite. Inelastic demand is less than 1. Elastic demand is greater than 1. And the last one we will see, that is unitary elastic demand. What is unitary elastic demand? Very simple. Percentage change in quantity demanded is equals to percentage change in price. If the changes in quantity demanded, whatever, if suppose from initial stage of price, that is 100 rupees. From 100 rupees, 10% increase, 110. So the same variation must be seen when you demand. Okay, when you demand that commodity by either increase or decrease in the price. percentage change in quantity demanded in relation with the percentage change in price. Unitary elastic demand, it will be equal. 10% increase in price leads to 10% decrease in quantity demand of the commodity. Similarly, 10% decrease in price leads to 10% quantity demanded increase in nature. This is known as unitary elastic demand. In that cases, price elasticity, the value is equals to 1. So we will write price elasticity is equal to 1. In that cases, we can also draw the diagram. Please draw it. Either you can use straight line demand curve or a curve in nature. So look at this. P1, Q1. Look at equals to percentage change in price. This gap is equals to this gap. Means both the things equal. So the value is equals to 1. Here I have drawn a curve. So this curve is known as a rectangular hyperbola. What is its name? A rectangular hyperbola curve. What is meant by rectangular hyperbola curve, or what does it show? The two ends of the curve. Okay, both the ends expands equally towards its x and y axis, but it never touches. Okay, keep in mind that this curve extends. The curve can extend towards x-axis and y-axis, but it never touches. That is the behavior of rectangular hyperbola. So we can say the shape of unitary elastic demand curve is rectangular hyperbola. Rectangular hyperbola. The value is equals to 1. What does it mean? Percentage change in quantity demanded is equals to percentage change in price. Clear? So I have explained the 5 types of price elasticity of demand. These are, let me repeat, perfectly inelastic demand, perfectly elastic demand, inelastic demand, elastic demand, unitary elastic demand. The values are elasticity is equals to 0, elasticity, price elasticity is infinite, less than 1, greater than 1, equals to 1. The price elasticity of demand values, numerical expression lies the ranges between 0 to infinite, 5 values. All the 5 different values describes a different situation. You could keep in mind different situations. Okay, what are these differences? For example, what is unitary elastic demand? By seeing the nature of the curve, we can easily explain percentage change in quantity demanded of a commodity is equals to percentage change in price. This is what is unitary elastic demand. Clear? Now we will see that the calculation of price elasticity of demand. We have 3 types of elasticity of demand: price elasticity of demand, gross elasticity of demand, income elasticity of demand. Price elasticity of demand, we have seen 5 kinds, 5 classifications. Now methods, different methods of measurement of price elasticity of demand. What are the different methods? Okay, we have 3. Let me look this. Right, method measurement. Methods of measurement of price elastic demand. Of price elasticity of demand. We have there are three methods of measurement of price elasticity of demand. Three methods. What are these three methods? The first one is percentage or proportionate method. Three methods. We have three methods. First one is percentage or proportionate. Percentage or proportionate method. And second one is, you can note it down, is total expenditure method. Total expenditure method. And third one is point method. Point or geometric method. Point or geometric method. So these are the three methods of calculating price elasticity of demand. What are those? First one is proportionate method. Second one total expenditure method. And third one point or geometric method. And now we will discuss about among these three, we will study some of the numerical based on proportionate method. Proportionate method. So let us study the first method in detail. Percentage or proportionate method. Percentage or proportionate method. This is the first method. What is mean by percentage or proportionate method? What is mean by percentage or proportionate method? We can try to understand the term percentage or proportionate method. It says that price elasticity of demand is measured by the ratio of percentage change in quantity demanded to percentage change in price of the commodity. So I have told you in the initial stage, percentage change in quantity demanded upon percentage change in price. Symbolically, in order to calculate the price elasticity of demand, in proportionate method, we can simply form a formula that is price elasticity is equals to percentage change. You can note it down. Percentage change in quantity demanded upon percentage change in price. This is a simple formula to calculate price elasticity of demand by percentage method. Okay, the formula says percentage change in quantity demanded upon divided by percentage change in price. In that cases, percentage change in quantity demanded. For quantity changes, we need to note the letter Q, and for mentioning the price changes, we note the letter P. Change in quantity demanded. Change in quantity demanded is which letter shows change in quantity demanded? Change in quantity demanded, we can show that delta. The term delta. Delta shows change in quantity demanded. Okay, change in quantity. Change in price is also we can show the same word delta. So delta Q and delta P. What is change in quantity demanded and change in price. If we derive this formula, finally we get a new equation or new formula, and that is what we commonly use to calculate the price elasticity of demand by percentage method. So we can use two formula. One of the formula is this, and another one is when we derivate this, we at the end we get a new formula in such a way that is elasticity is equal to delta Q upon delta P into P upon Q. This is the formula. The derivation part is not required. So we need these two formula. One is this and another one is this. In the first cases, percentage change in quantity demanded upon percentage change in price. Second cases, elasticity of demand, price elasticity is equal to delta Q upon delta P into P upon Q. These are the two formulae that you can normally use to calculate the price elasticity of demand by proportionate or percentage method. According to the question, after reading the question, we can use any one of this formula. Okay, now where under this you must know certain terms. Here something is written, and what are these? How does it denotes? Okay, for that we can write. There you can write we'll be writing here where this is price elasticity of demand. Price elasticity of demand. Okay. Then delta Q. You will be writing delta Q. What is delta Q? Q1 minus Q. This is delta Q. What is Q1? Q is equal to initial quantity. Q1 is change in quantity. Change in quantity. Therefore, how to find out change in quantity? Delta Q is equal to Q1 minus Q. If you minus initial quantity from change in quantity, you will get a delta Q. If suppose in that cases you want to find out Q1. Q1 is equal to, you can make a formula that Q1 is equal to delta Q plus Q. And also if you want to find out Q is equal to Q1 minus delta Q. So these are the three formula, okay, to find out. One is this, second one is this, and third one is this. See, from delta Q you can find the rest two. Okay, delta Q is equal to Q1 minus Q. Q is equal to initial quantity, Q1 change in quantity. To find out Q1, delta Q plus Q. To find out Q1 minus delta Q. Similarly, we can write delta P. What is delta P? P1 minus P. P1 minus P. What is P1? P1 is change in price. P is equal to initial price. Initial price. Therefore, delta P is equal to P1 minus P. Now to get the same way, P1. We want to get P1. P1 is equal to delta P plus P. To get P is equal to P1 minus delta P. P1 minus delta P. Cannot be done. Okay, have you noted down? So we have two formula to measure price elasticity of demand. One is percentage change in quantity demanded. Another one is percentage change in price. Another formula, price elasticity of demand is equal to delta Q by delta P into P by Q. Where what is delta P? Price elasticity of demand. Delta Q means P and Q. What is P? P is initial price. P1 change in price. Q is initial quantity. Q1 change in quantity. Delta Q, to find out delta Q, Q1 minus Q. To find out delta P, P1 minus P. Okay, and other two cases you can find delta P1 and P1 another case, and P is this free form. And keeping on this formula, according to the question, after finding the value of this, we may put those values in a formula. We can easily apply the formula and find out the price elasticity of demand. Mathematically, if we speak, price elasticity of demand is negative now. If we speak mathematically, the price elasticity of demand is negative. Why? Because of negative slope of demand curve. Okay, but while calculating the price elasticity demand in percentage method, the common practice that we should not take the negative number there. We avoid the negative sign and we take the absolute value in order to get the price elasticity. We never see the negative number there. We take absolute value. That means avoiding the negative sign. Mathematically, you may find because when we make Q1 minus Q or P1 minus P, we will get a negative one. So in that negative sign, we do not keep it. We shall not take that negative sign and we take only the absolute value. Okay, keep in mind that we take only the absolute value. Okay, we take absolute value and then finally we apply the values in the formula and we will get finally the answer. Okay, now let us see one numerical. Okay, one or two numericals in based on these two formula, and the rest numericals, some numericals are given in the textbooks. You can study very clearly and you can practice it at home. Okay, so you can note one questions. Please note one question. Price falls from rupees 50 to rupees 30, resulting in an increase in the purchase of commodity. In the purchase of commodity from rupees 200 to rupees 220 units. Calculate the price elasticity of demand. Calculate the price elasticity of demand. This is the question. Price falls from rupees 50 to 30, resulting in an increasing in the purchase of commodity from 200 unit to 250 unit. According to the question, we first of all let us write the formula. What formula is to be used to? There are two formulae, and what in these cases we have given prices, different prices and different quantity. Therefore, we will write the formula is price elasticity is equal to delta Q upon delta P into P upon Q. This is the formula. Now find out, as per the question we have to find out the value. So we know that we have to find out the delta Q. So for finding delta Q, we should make Q and Q1. So Q is equal to, Q is what? Initial quantity. Initial quantity is 200. Q1 is equal to 220. Similarly, P is equal to rupees 50. P1 is equal to rupees 30. Now we can find out the delta Q. Delta Q is equal to Q1 minus Q. Q1 is 220 minus 200, that is 20. Again we can find out what? Delta P. Delta P is equal to P1 minus P, which means P1 is rupees 30 minus rupees 50, that is equal to 30 minus 50, we are getting minus 20. So as I told you that while calculating price elasticity of demand in percentage method, we may take only the absolute value. So we can write there 20. We do not take the symbol there. Absolute value only. Okay. So we have got delta P and P. Now what is? Now we can apply the value in the formula. What is delta Q? Delta Q we have 20. 20 upon delta P is also 20. 20 upon 20 into P upon Q. P is equal to 50, right? 50 upon Q. What is Q? Q is 200. Then next is, what is next step? 20 and 20 cancel. Okay, we can cut it and 4. That means 1 by 4, which is equal to 0.25. So we have finally got the answer of price elasticity, that is 0.25. This is the way that we calculate price elasticity in one method of this one. Is that clear? Okay. If we see another way of question in another formula, okay, we can also note that also. Let me write. You can write, I'm just directly writing. Price elasticity is equal to 0.5. Then percentage change in quantity is equal to 6. what is percentage change in price question. This one question. In these cases, you cannot utilize that formula which we have just used, because it is given percentage change in quantity 6 and elasticity is also given. So in these cases, you can notice you can use the formula that price elasticity is equal to percentage change in quantity demanded upon percentage change in price. Now we apply the things. What is, we can say, elasticity is also given. So 0.5 is equal to percentage change in quantity demanded. Quantity demanded is 6 upon percentage change in price. Percentage change in price is what? Percentage change in price, which is equal to, we are taking percentage change in price is equal to 6 upon 0.5. That we can write, that is 60 upon 5, which is equal to 12%. One answer, one way, or else from up to here, from here we can directly 6 by 0.5 is equal to 12%. Okay, either this form or this way we can find out the price elasticity. So we have discussed one of the methods to calculate the price elasticity of demand, that is percentage or proportionate method. Okay, in that cases we have seen two types of formulae and two different types of questions that solving in that way. I think you are clear. So you can just see the classes again and again and try to understand very clearly how to calculate the price elasticity of demand. And today's class we have discussed about the term price elasticity. Okay, what is mean by price elasticity? One of the technical term you should remember, that degree of responsiveness, the rate of change in quantity demand, which is not seen in the law of demand. So that we will see in elasticity of this demand. And we have seen five types of price elasticity, and all the 5 types we have explained, we studied very clearly with the diagram. And also, if you want, you can make a hypothetical schedule for that according to the nature of the demand curve. We have seen the values in the description cases. We have seen the numerical expression of that different types are in 0, infinite, less than 1, greater than 1, and equals to 1. Okay, we have also studied in that. And the methods among the 3, or one method, that is percentage method, we have numerical calculations of price elasticity, and that we have seen here. Okay, and here comes the end of today's classes, and by next class we will continue with the same little more broad. For till then, bye, see you.